Good morning. Thank you for joining in today. I trust that you're having a good day so far, and hopefully you've stayed cool throughout this very hot week. But nonetheless, we shouldn't be too surprised with, a couple of days ago was the first day of summer. So we're heading into that time of year, and of course our Ontario summers with the hot, humid days. But nonetheless, it's always something to look forward to as opposed to the colder months, right? But just really considering that this week, and every time it comes around a new season, I often reflect on the thought of God's faithfulness. Because realistically, when you look at God's creation, you see his faithfulness through it all. Even just reading in Matthew 6 where Jesus is preaching and he's speaking about God's provision and taking care of his creation, taking care of the birds and the flowers and the grass and all these things. You see God's faithfulness, but as well through the seasons you see his faithfulness. And as you study it throughout Genesis and you read Genesis 1, the creation account, and you look at God's perfect creation and how he created everything perfectly and within his order, and none of that has changed. And then even as you get to Genesis 6, 7, 8, speaking about Noah and the worldwide flood, and there was a big disruption in the climate of the world. We know the fountains of the deep were opened up and the entire earth was flooded. The first time rain had fallen. But after the flood and after the ark had settled and God had promised Noah once again to never destroy the earth, he gave him the sign of the rainbow, picture of God's promise and faithfulness, which we should be reminded of. But we see in Genesis 8:22, after God had promised not to destroy the earth again, he says, "While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease." It shall not cease. It's never going to change. So springtime comes and, seed time, and things are planted, and you see flowers budding, the trees are budding, and things are happening, and things are renewing after the winter month. And farmers take this time and they plant they sow their seed and they take care of it and they water it, and it's all taken care of, weeded until the harvest time, another season where those farmers reap the reward, which is their crop of all that work, all that time invested. And once again, like I said, it's just a picture of God's faithfulness because it never changes. The seasons come and they don't skip. It doesn't change year after year. No, the seasons come every 3 months. The seasons change, and that's what God promises here in Genesis 8:22. So it's just something that we can appreciate when you think about God and his majesty and his creation that he has made. Psalm 104:19 says, "He appointed the moon for seasons, the sun knoweth his going down." So once again, God has appointed all parts of his creation, including the sun and the moon and the seasons. As things change, it's a big cycle that is in place. And of course, in our lives, we go through seasons as well. So the spiritual aspect of it is that we all go through different seasons in life, through different trials, through different joys, through different changes. But we go through different seasons, and I don't know what season you're in at this time, but the fact is, once again, thinking about God's creation is regardless of the season that we're going through and the times that we're in. Psalm 118:24 says, "This is the day which the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it." So despite the season, despite the weather, despite having a heat wave for a week, or despite having, in the wintertime, those cold, dark days, regardless of what the season is or the time is or the season that you're going through, the fact is that this is the day that the Lord hath made. And we are called to worship him. We are made to worship him, to glorify him in our lives. So we will rejoice and be glad in it. So I hope that even this Saturday, that you take time to reflect upon God and his faithfulness, his goodness in your life, that you remember his faithfulness in creation. And just like Jesus reminded us in Matthew 6, that if God is to take care of the birds that can't feed themselves and houses them, takes care of them, will he not much take better care of us as our Heavenly Father? And we ought to remember that as we reflect upon this today. And just, moving right into this weekend and considering what's happening with our ranch day, we, like I've said and reminded the church family over the last month with the announcements, that this is an awesome day that we always look forward to. And I just want to give you a couple of reminders about tomorrow. So there will be no services at the church tomorrow. Here at the church in Malton, there's going to be no services. Everything's going to be taken at Rocky Ridge Ranch. That's just north of Milton. So if you need any information, go to the church website. You can find the link here on the Facebook page, or legacybaptist.church. All the information is there. So dress is casual. We'll be starting, the service starts at 10:30, but you can arrive at 10 o'clock. Grab a coffee, something like that if you'd like. This is an important one. We will be meeting rain or shine. So if you wake up tomorrow and there is a bit of rain or it's thundering, we're still meeting at the ranch. There's going to be no change to that. If it's raining, we're not meeting at the church. We're still at the ranch. And they have an indoor chapel that we meet in including the food. We'd be able to still eat and enjoy that time together. But as far as the weather looks, there's a chance of a bit of rain in the morning. But what it looks like, it's going to clear up throughout the day. So it looks like it's still going to be a great day to meet there. But like I said, regardless, we're going to rejoice in the day that God gives us tomorrow, and we're still going to worship him together. And if you have a lawn chair, it'd be great if you'd bring a lawn chair, the setup for that, lunch afterwards. And the food sign up is closed. That's already been filled out, as the ranch takes care of that. But if you haven't signed up, you are still more than welcome to come and join us at the ranch tomorrow. And we hope that you will. If you've never been before, I know sometimes you've never been somewhere different or new and you're used to maybe the church, maybe you're new at the church. We would love to have you at the ranch tomorrow. We would love to see you there. We'd love to fellowship with you, and we hope that you'll take the trip, make it out there. It looks like it's going to be a great day. But if you have any other questions about that, you can message the Facebook page here and we'll respond to that. Like I said, just go to the website. The directions are there. If you can just use your GPS, the Rocky Ridge Ranch, it will get you there as well. But let's rejoice in what God has given to us. It's always a great service there as we reflect and are out in nature, really, and just looking at God's goodness in our lives. So that is it for this morning, and really looking forward to our ranch day tomorrow. So take care. God bless.